Today, we are talking about something that trips up almost every founder I have ever worked with or known. And it is basically this the question that comes up more often now than ever before because of the interest of so many people in entrepreneurship and creating something on their own. The question is, what is the difference between your personal brand and your business brand? Another question around the same thing: how do they work together? And more importantly, should one lead the other? And how do you know which stage that you're in? Now, I know there's a lot of questions here about personal brand and business brand, but I want to keep something in mind. Most founders that I speak to treat these two things as two separate tasks, like two separate strategies, two separate content approaches, and a set of two separate goals. And this is because of the framing. There's a confusion around what do we need to create first and what we need to create at a later stage. Also, this confusion happens because so many entrepreneurs and business leaders, they prefer to focus on the business brand part of it because of their uncomfort or for whatever reason to deal with visibility when it comes to their personal brand. Now, your personal brand and your business brand are not two completely different things as a founder or as an entrepreneur, especially if you are in the early stages. They are kind of like an extension of the same reputation. And by understanding how do they relate to each other and what makes what is the difference between them will help you to understand the way you approach your visibility, whether you want it to be scattered or whether you want your visibility to build momentum. So, if you're driving, save this episode for later. If not, if you're watching this, let's get the notebooks because we're gonna get into it. And I want to start with the distinction that actually matters. So, let me define the terms because people use these words differently and they have really kind of related and different meanings. Your personal brand is your reputation as a person. It is what people think, feel, and say about you as the individual. It is your expertise, your point of view, your track record, and the way you think about problems, the way that you communicate those problems and the solutions to it. Your personal brand travels with you wherever you go, regardless of what company you worked in or what company you are creating. You are attached to it and it is attached to you at any given moment. Your business brand, however, is your company's reputation. It is what people think about the business that you are building, whether it is a product-based business or if it's a service-based one. And the business brand is built on what the company does. Who does it serve? What results it produces? The experience of the clients while interacting with the company. Now, here is what most founders miss. In the beginning, these two things are almost impossible to separate because in the early stages of any business, people are not deciding whether to trust your company or not. They are basically deciding whether to trust you, the founder. Now that you know this, and based on this information, now that you're clear of what type of brand business means and personal brand means, I want to share with you my own philosophy based on years of experience as a communication strategist and based on working with so many companies and entrepreneurs. Now, this is what I believe. I believe that each stage of the business journey requires a different balance between the personal brand and the business brand. So if we take it like stage one, if you're just starting and this is the first stage of you creating or building your business. In that early stage of a business, your personal brand is going to do the heavy lifting. And this is true whether you are a consultant, a service provider, founder of a product, even a coach. before the business has any kind of a track record, before the company even has a name that means anything to anybody, before there are case studies and client logos and social proof and a company page and all of that, it is you. There is you, and it starts with you. People will buy from you. They will refer you, the business owner. They trust you because of who you are and what they have seen and heard about you, not because of what your company website is talking about you. And there's a big difference here. And, I've lived this personally. When I launched my communication consultancy, I did not get the clients because of the name of the company that I've just created. I got it because of my 20 years of experience in the industry. My personal brand carried the business in those really early stages. And the company grew on the back of my reputation, not the other way around when it comes to the beginnings, to the early stages. So, in this stage, most founders who are listening to me right now, if that is you, the strategic implication is very simple. Invest in your personal brand first, but not instead of your business brand. Invest first in your personal brand because one is leading the other. Your visibility and your content and your positioning as an expert, these are the primary growth drivers for your business at this early stage, not the company's social website or social pages or any of that. Okay? Now, I don't mean that you shouldn't be creating any asset for your company that is required when you're first starting. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm really emphasizing here is that your personal brand will lead at this stage, and therefore it needs your full effort and your full focus. Once you cross that stage, you come to another stage, which is stage 2, and that is that the personal brand and the business brand, they start walking in parallel. They start walking together. Because what happens is that at some point, once the business starts growing and once you see the momentum that you intended and that you envisioned and that you planned for, something will start to shift. The shift happens when the brand starts standing on its own. People start knowing the company. They start recognizing the company name. You have clients with results that is attached to the company, not just to you personally as the founder or as the company leading this company. You start having team and the team starts growing. The brand assets, the equity, recognition starts existing independently of whether you showed up or you didn't. So it is at that stage 2, that your personal brand and your business brand are no longer in a hierarchy situation. They start kind of walking together on the same path in parallel. And what happens is that each one reinforces the other. When your personal brand is visible and when your personal brand has that strength of credibility, it raises the floor of trust for your business brand. And when your business brand is really strong in driving results and it's building its own reputation, it creates proof points that amplify your business brand. That amplifies your personal brand. So this is what I mean when I say like they walk parallel. And one of the really, really good examples is, for example, if we look at Huda Kattan and Huda Beauty, the brand and the founder, or for example, Elon Musk and Tesla, or Oprah Winfrey and her media empire, or Sarah Blakely and Spanx, her, the company, the brand. Each of those cases, what happened if we go back in time, the personal brand and the business brand are this very, very clear entities that kind of reinforce each other. But that only happened after an initial stage where the personal brand of the founder was carrying or leading the reputation building and the trust building in the beginning. And then at one point that shift happens, and now neither one is carrying the other anymore. They are basically, if I can put it this way, they're basically in a dialogue. Now, most founders that I work with are not at that stage yet, the stage 2. But it's really important and it's very useful to know that that stage does exist, because I think it kind of changes how you think about the work that you're doing right now if you're still in stage 1. It will help you think of how you're building the reputations and how you're building those two separate things. You are not building one integrated reputation that kind of eventually finds its full expression in two complementary forms. And this is what I want that shift to happen. I don't want you to see it as two separate entities. I want you to see it first in a hierarchical mode, and then the full expression of the two where they complement each other, where the dialogue starts, kind of happens. So when you see it as a goal, when you see it so clearly, you are able today to understand which stage that you're in and how do you need to show up for yourself or even for your business. So just to go back on this point, how do you know which stage that you're in? There are so many ways for you to really know that. I mean, some of it is really obvious. How does the traction happens? Do clients come because they heard of the company or because of they heard of you? But if you want to put it in a practical way, just ask yourself these really simple questions. If you've removed your name, if you've removed your face from your business completely, will the business generate those inbound leads? If the answer is no, then you're still in stage 1. Another question is that when people refer the business your way, okay, are they saying you should talk to the founder, or are they saying you should talk to the people in the company, or you should check out this company? Okay, if the referral is almost always through you personally, then you are still in stage 1. And another question is, does your company have a standalone social proof? Does the company alone have the case studies, the client testimonials, the press mentions, the results? Because if they are still attached to you more than the company, if most of your social proof are tied to you personally, then you're still in stage 1. And this is not a judgment. Stage 1 is where most businesses begin, and stage 1 is where most businesses want to be, where many founders, like consultants, like coaches, they prefer to stay in stage 1. So there's no judgment of which stage you are. It all depends on your vision. It all depends on your goals. So just like what I said, there are business owners who prefer to stay in that stage because they are building a lifestyle business. And they've decided to create that lifestyle business from day 1. So they will always remain in phase 1 in terms of visibility, in terms of the hierarchical way of looking at personal brand and business brand. But that doesn't mean that their business is not growing and it's not profiting and it's not scaling in the way that they have planned it for. We're talking here about building personal brand and business brand and not about revenues and profits. Okay, so that will not impact your revenue. But if you want, or if your plan is at one point to diversify into something else or to create multiple projects or multiple businesses, then you need to look at them in the different stages that they are in, and how do you put down a plan for you to go from stage 1 to stage 2. Okay, but At the same time, the founders who kind of struggle are not the ones who are usually in stage one. They are usually the ones that they don't know which stage that they are in, and they don't know what exactly or where exactly to put their efforts and their to invest their time, to invest in the right things. Like, what are the right things for them to invest on, and at what stage they should be doing that. Let's think of it with a practical framework. So I want to close with a very practical way of looking at things that I use with my clients who are kind of navigating this space. If you are in stage one, lead with you. Lead with yourself. Lead with your name, with your face, with your thinking, with your methodology, with your expertise. At the same time, your business page or your company channels, they should exist. But the primary content driver, the primary content investment is in building your personal brand. Because at that stage, this is what converts for you right now in terms of business, business sense, in terms of revenue, in terms of getting leads, getting new clients. This is what converts for you in stage one. If you are at a transition point, start building the proof layer by layer for your business. Start building case studies that are for your business, irrelevant or in addition to yours. Okay, so start building those case studies. Start getting the client results that could be attributed to the company. Start getting testimonials that speaks to the company's impact, not just to your personal expertise as a founder. And this is how you start, or you begin, building the company's standalone credibility and standalone mechanism of building trust. But if you are in stage two already, make sure that your personal brand and your company brand are in a dialogue and they are not in a competition mode for attention. So basically, your personal brand content and content plan should reference the company, and your company content plan should kind of carry your voice and carry your point of view, in addition to the content that is 100% created for the company. So they kind of work together, and that's the type or the sort of dialogue that you start, kind of strategizing. They feel like they belong to the same ecosystem, because they do. It's the same ecosystem, but they are separate and they are an asset on its own. I want to close by leaving you with this. Your personal brand and your business brand are, again, two expressions of the same reputation. At a certain stage, your personal brand will lead. In a mature stage, or a full maturity kind of position, they kind of talk together. So knowing which stage you are is not a small thing. It is something that will give you the clarity that will keep you from wasting your energy and your resources and your finances on the wrong investment at the wrong time. If this episode made you think about where you are in this cycle, I would really love to hear from you. So come find me on LinkedIn. Tell me, what stage are you in? Is it stage 1 or stage 2? And what is the main challenge that you are facing as a result of that, of being in that stage? If you found this useful, please share it with a founder who is building both a personal brand and a company brand at the same time, and they're kind of finding it very complicated. I think this episode is for them. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Keep making waves.